Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to Ongaku to You, the podcast where three friends come together and break down what's new in the Japanese music industry. This is the podcast for the week of November 16th, 2018. I'm your host, Ken, and with me we have Luna.
Good evening, everyone. Or good evening for me. Maybe good morning or afternoon for you.
How have you been? I missed you last week.
I've been hanging in there. We got a ton of snow on Wednesday night and Thursday. So I got a snow day.
Ooh, I wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah, we haven't had a snow day here since an ice storm about maybe 2 years ago. I'll
Ooh.
take the snow over ice, but I will say the roads were bad to the point. Me and my fiance, we live by a big hill. We're going down the hill, and in the distance, you can see this car trying to go up the other hill, and they got stuck. Next thing you know, you see them backing down the hill, and we're going down the hill. And then they backed onto another road, and we start going up, and then they try to follow us and get stuck again. Of course, they're like 2 inches behind the car. I'm just like, our car can't stop because we'll rear end that. It'll be bad. But the roads are really slick. Like, our car was sliding and it was scary. So I'm glad I didn't have to work the next day because when I woke up, I got a text saying office is closed. I'm like, oh, yay, office is closed. But my fiance still had to go to work and he'd leave at like 4:30 a.m.
Oh,
And
goodness.
oh yeah, my dad had to go to work. He left at 5:30. He said the highways were so bad. It took him forever to get to work. So I'm glad I didn't have to go to work and drive in that crap. But I enjoyed the snow. I got to watch a Japanese concert, which was nice. It's just been a long, busy, tiring week. But I really missed everyone and talking about one of my favorite things. So it's good to be back.
Yeah. What have we been listening to?
So I've been listening to mainly Kotakumi. I really wanted something upbeat because it's been kind of a really depressing week. So I've been listening to DNA, and I also popped in and those have given me a lot of upbeat things and kind of cheered me up. I also was listening to Hamasaki Ayumi. I was listening to her all complete singles best that came out in I want to say 2010. I
Hmm.
think it was 2010 or 2012. It is a great compilation, pretty much, about 10 years of her career. Or actually, it came out in '08. Scratch that, that was '08. And it spans 10 years of her career, so you get a great variety of songs. And I was listening to the disc with. It had No Way to Say, it had Step You, it had Fairyland, it had Heaven. Of course, when I hear Heaven, I freaking bawl my eyes out. That song makes me cry. It's such a beautiful song and it really like plays at your heartstrings. And I watched her Countdown Live 2010-2011 tour yesterday and there was a ballad melody. It was Dearest, Heaven, Carols, and Together When. I cried. I freaking cried. I cried like a little baby because it was so beautiful and her performance, she was crying while singing them. So it made me cry. And plus, with the lyrics, they're really, they're kind of sad songs. And with everything going on, I just sat there bawling my freaking eyes out. And then I listened to her upbeat songs. So, she had a great upbeat song, comeback songs after that. But, those are two of the main things I've been listening to. And also, Shima Mia Eiko, who is a Japanese, more, I would say she does anime and game music. She did the theme for Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, aka When They Cry. She did all the theme songs for it, all the openings. I binge watched that last week, and so I pulled out her first album I have, and I started listening to it, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how much I love her music. It is really beautiful, relaxing, and it has some great beats to it, which is one of the reasons I really, really love it. So I think that's really it. Is just those four singers. Not too much, surprisingly. What about you, Ken?
I've been listening to a couple other things. picked up Rad Whips again, so that was a lovely little trip back down. We'll get back to them in a little bit for the news, but I was listening to them. I was listening to some Exile also because I've been neglecting their newest album that came out. So I picked that up again and tried to venture forward through all the Exile Friday songs because I really did like their Exile Friday releases this past year, and I'm really hoping that they continue with that for the next year. So, besides that, I was listening to Utada again because I picked up Play a Love Song, so it was a good time to go through there, and Arashi because right now they are doing their 5x20 tour, so it's their anniversary tour that they've been going through right now. So I've been kind of loving that. But besides that, just random assortments. My juicy playlist for the most part. I'm finally able to be comfortable at work, so I can start listening to music a bit more. Mostly because I don't really pick up the phones where I'm at, so not much of a big deal there. But besides that, yeah, nothing much. But yeah, let's continue on to some news. First and foremost, Fantastics from Exile Tribe releases their long-awaited debut single next month. The 8-member dance group Fantastics will be finally releasing their debut single titled Overdrive, which will release on December 5th. Unfortunately, they originally debuted with Turn Back Time, Exile Friday song, but it was used to, I guess, encourage one of their fallen brethren, Shota Naoko, who unfortunately passed soon after the music video was released, and it's a shame, but they dedicated this music video for him and this single for them because they knew that they would want to continue on with their dancing and their choreography and show his spirit through this next single. They also dropped the music video for the Overdrive the following day, so if you guys do take a chance, go on our site and take a look at it.
That's really nice of them to do that, is to dedicate that video to their fallen brethren, so they're really sweet.
Moving on to some other news here. Radwimps drops more information on their newest upcoming album titled Anti-Generation, being released on December 12th. This will be the band's 9th studio album overall, with a hefty 17 tracks total, which several of the tracks is actually going to be a collaboration with several other artists, like 1OK Rock, which we'll talk to in about a minute. Along with this announcement, Radwimps also released the music video for Sokenai, which will be included in Anti-Generation. You can pre-order the CD and look at the music video for Sokenai on our website, so go right ahead and do so.
I'm excited for this, actually. I really like Radwimps, and I like that new music video a lot. So I'm looking forward to this new one.
As am I. But yeah, speaking of 1OK Rock, they released that they're going to be doing a US tour.
They did, and I'm really upset that they're not coming back to my town. So about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they came to where I live, and I didn't get a chance to go at the time because I couldn't get off my job. And I missed them. And I'm so freaking upset that I didn't get to see them. And they're not coming back. The closest they're going is 6 hours away from me, and it's in February. And I'm debating on if I can make it with vacation, with my vacation days and everything going on, because it's going to be really difficult making that decision. I really want to see them live so bad. And if they're coming to your city, I highly recommend going to see them.
Oh yeah, they're hitting a couple other places. They're actually hitting Hawaii, so I'm actually looking quite forward to seeing them. I've never seen them live. I'm kind of looking forward to this. They're hitting Salt Lake City, they're hitting Denver, they're hitting Detroit.
They're hitting Chicago. They're hitting Chicago, which is not, it's like about 6 hours from me. They're hitting Minneapolis. They're hitting some good towns, and I just wish if they would have came to my city again. But I'm really glad they're making a U.S. tour. That makes me really happy, and hopefully it gives a lot of people the chance to see them.
Yeah.
They're also hitting Phoenix because I got excited when I saw that because my grandparents live there, and I was super tempted to be like, oh, maybe I can go see them. And I could go see a concert. But, but that would be horrible to say, I'm just going to see a concert. But,
The Hawaii tour is going to be the last leg on their trip before they head back to Japan, which is understandable because, I mean, it's probably a little bit more cheaper to fly from Hawaii than a couple other places internationally, so to speak.
oh yeah, Hawaii is way cheaper than trying to fly from half the places in the U.S.
But it's quite interesting that they're starting in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's really weird because that's more on the west side. And they're going, east. They're doing a really weird turn. So, kind of interesting.
Yeah, they head from mid part of the U.S., heading towards the east, and then swinging back around towards the west side. It's interesting nonetheless, and
Mm-hmm.
if you guys have the chance to go see them, go and see them because this is a big, big attraction for them. Them and Perfume. Like, if you guys were able to get Perfume tickets, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous.
Are they sold out?
Some places there. I think on Cali's one, they're sold out.
I might. So, I've been thinking about seeing them in Chicago. So, I might want to get my tickets.
Yeah. So, all these places, they're really good, and I really hope that you guys go and see them because it tells Japan that, a U.S. expansion ain't a joke, that they'll take it a little bit more seriously.
Oh, I agree. And I can see One OK Rock doing very well. I mean, there are a lot of giant rock concerts that they could do some of, where they have several bands. That would be something that would be awesome to do. I don't think Warped Tour is around anymore. I think they stopped doing it. But stuff like that, good way to get out there and catch new people, and it shows that they have a good fan base by selling out tickets and, go and support them. Show them that the U.S. loves them, so they'll come back. And maybe more artists will be able to come over here. I would love to see a lot more Japanese artists come over, so I feel like One OK Rock and Perfume or, supporting them will lead the way to more artists to come over.
Oh yeah.
And actually see more cities than just California and New York.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, you can go to our website because we'll have the full list of all the cities up. Or you can just look at their Facebook page also. Their Facebook page has like a good poster full of all of their places that they're heading towards too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, besides that, let's move on to our next piece of news here. The Kohaku. So the Kohaku finally announces their initial artist list for this year's 69th annual Red and White Kohaku Uta Tyson, I guess, the red versus white song battle. And I just noticed this. This is going to be the 69th year. That means they're going to probably go all out next year. Because not only it will be the 70th, but it'll be the year that the Tokyo Olympics is happening also.
Oh, yeah, that'll be big. Be very big.
It's very interesting, and I figured we spend some time here just to kind of talk about the artist list and kind of let's take some bets here on what song is going to be played.
For Tokyo Olympics?
Oh no, for this year's Kohaku.
This year's Kohaku? Okay, you mean by each artist singing?
Let's.
Or do you mean just like a theme song?
Like generally, let's for example, let's try AKB. I'm pretty sure Teacher's gonna show up.
Yes.
Either Teacher or the last song that came out. I forget what it was called already. That tells you how good that song was.
I think Teacher will probably be it, because that was a hit and it actually stuck with you, because the last song I didn't really care for.
Sentimental Train. There we go. Sentimental Train. Yeah, that was a
Sentimental Wreck.
sentimental wreck instead. So yeah, that tells you something. If we can't even remember the song that was supposed to be the Senbatsu song.
I mean, I could see maybe them doing a melody, well, because some are, some of them do more than one song.
Yeah.
And some of them kind of mix things into a melody. So, for Kana Nishino, I'm thinking it'll probably be Bedtime Story.
Yeah, I can see that bedtime story, or probably a transition from bedtime story to I Love You, or vice versa.
Yep, I can see either of those. Unless she drops a new single in the meantime. If she drops one between now and the Kohaku, then I could see the new single she drops being on there. But for right now, I'm going to go with, like, a combo of Bedtime Story and I Love You.
When is her second best album going to be released?
November 28th.
Ooh, so maybe
I have it on pre-order.
maybe some combination of that.
It could be like a melody of a lot of her songs, because since it showcases where the last best album left off, I'm very, very excited about this, actually. I pre-ordered it day one. I'm hoping my copies ship early. Got my fingers crossed. So.
Hopefully. But let's go down the list here. We have Aiko, and I'm pretty sure songs from her album. I think it was Straw. Straw is probably going to be on there. Straw is going to probably be on there. There is a new debut of Aimon, and I did not know about her until about 20 minutes ago.
I was the same, and I checked her out on YouTube. So I guess I'll just say what a combination of what I think her voice and music sounds like. She sounds like a combination of Ayaka and Miwa. She has an absolutely beautiful voice, and I want to hear more from her. I don't know much about her, but what I heard, I want to look into her, and I think it'll be an interesting debut for the Kohaku.
I agree with you on the Miwa stuff. She sounds pretty similar to Miwa, that's why. Going down, it's Ikimono Gakari. This will be their 10th time on here, so I don't know if they released anything this year.
I don't know either. I have a lot of their older stuff, but I haven't kept up with anything recent. It looks like they did have something really... oh, that was an LP. I'm looking to see if they had anything come out this year, because I don't recall seeing them on the Oricon this year, unless I'm not remembering correctly.
No, like specifically me, because we have to research all this stuff. I don't remember them being on this year.
I'm not seeing anything on CD Japan listings. So this could be like a type of special appearance, and maybe they'll do like a melody of some of their biggest songs. Maybe they're going to have something new coming out that we don't know about. So they could be planning something around that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to see them, because I think the singer, I forgot her name. She's starting to do some solo work, and I think she released her solo album or solo single this past year. But if that's the case, then they
Kyoe.
Kyoe.
Yoshioka Kyoe.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then
she did release her solo album this year called Utairo, and it is a cover album.
oh, if it's a cover album, then I don't know.
It is a cover album.
That is interesting, then.
Yeah, she did have 2 digital singles that were released this year as well. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
And their last studio album was 2014. Their last best album was 2016. The only new thing they had this year was a vinyl release called Recordon Chonana Iro Omori. And that was the only thing they had released this year.
Oh.
So, I'm kind of curious what this will be now. Having them on the Kohaku, it'll be very interesting in what they perform.
Going down up is Sayuri Ishikawa. She's an Inca singer, so I'm pretty sure they're not gonna stray away from the Inca stuff occasionally. So this is her 41st straight appearance, so she's been at it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we do have AKB, but we talked about them, and I really do think it's gonna just be teacher. Next on up is
I agree.
Midori Oka, and is she an Inca singer too?
Oh, I'm gonna correct myself on that Kana Nishino thing quick. It's actually releasing the 21st because I just checked my order status and it's in shipping process.
Well, so happy Thanksgiving to you, huh?
Oh, I know. Hopefully it'll be here next week. It'll, make me happy. And you said Midorioka?
Yeah.
See, I don't recall that. I wouldn't be surprised if she was Enka.
Yeah, I think she is pretty Inca. I think she is.
And I'm not too familiar with a lot of Enka singers, so for me it's kind of like, can't help with that. But I do like Enka.
But yeah, going down, it is Keyakizaka. They'll probably do Glasso Wade. They'll probably do Glasso Wade.
I'm thinking Glass of Water and maybe I can't say that word, ambivalent.
Ambivalence.
So, but I'm really I think I agree with Glass of Water because that was such a big song.
That was the song that made Gray pretty much become a fan of them.
Oh yeah, a huge fan.
Next on up is Fumiyu Sakamoto, and I believe she's another
Enka.
Inca singer. And next is Aya Shimazu. I believe
And she's
she's
Enka as well.
She's an Inca singer too.
Yep.
She's a fairly young looking Inca singer too, at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then Superfly is coming back. I'm surprised. This is only the third year.
I am too. I know they had that really big single not too long ago. So, I mean, I don't know if I constitute as a single or a mini album.
And I mean, even Kyo knows who they are, and Kyo's probably is a really big fan of Superfly, so it's really interesting that this is only their third time.
I'm surprised too.
But yeah, going on down, it is Daoko with her debut. If you could think of anyone that would be a surprise debut, it's Daoko. I mean, her album did really well. No knocking that. Her album did very, very well. But this is the person that did Me, that internet sensation with Teddy Lloyd. And to think that a traditional Shibuya Kei singer would be on the Kohaku, that's mind blowing in my mind.
I know. I'm actually excited about this, and I've been debating because her newest album isn't out yet. And it comes out December now. I've been thinking about picking it up.
Yeah, I mean it seems good. Like all the music videos that came out before it seems really really good, and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. Going on up, it's Yoshimi Tendo. I believe that's how you
I think
pronounce
she
it.
is Enka as well.
Yep, she seems like an Enka singer, and that she is. And next is very interesting. It's Twice.
It. I was gonna say it's interesting, but I'm not surprised because their debut Japanese album just came out this year, and it killed it. It killed the charts. It's still popping up on the album charts.
Yeah, it's very surprising. Oh, I'm not surprising in the sense that I wouldn't think they'd be on here, but some people lately on the internet have been going on the whole Korea versus Japan thing. We won't talk about that here because, oh man, I just don't want to open that can of worms.
No, it's not one to open because I've gotten into those and I don't want to get into them again.
I mean, if we could make an entire episode just debating that's how bad this whole controversy is right now. But I'm happy that Twice is on there. I'm happy that they're continuing on, and I want to see what song they're gonna do. They'll probably do BDZ.
That's what I'm thinking too. Especially their album did so well, so I can maybe see them doing a combination and doing more than one song.
Just do TT again.
Maybe not TT, but Wake Me Up.
Oh, Wake Me Up. Oh my goodness, I just kind of blocked that song out of my existence for a little bit. Mostly because there was this guy just spamming that song at my old department every single time I heard it. Yeah, Wake Me Up. Wake Me Up is gonna be on there, definitely.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, going on down. We talked about Nishino Kana, so it is Nogizaka 46. Nogizaka is an interesting thing. Because, in my mind, I don't think there's any songs that would be on this. I didn't like their last two releases. That's just me personal, though.
I'm trying to think what their last two were.
One was that summer song that came out like a couple weeks right before Ambivalent. So it's the Sachiko Deiko or something like. I believe it's.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of that one.
I wasn't a big fan about that too. I mean, Gray really did like that song, but we weren't really.
Was it? Oh yeah, Jiko Chu Deiko. I did like Synchronicity though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Synchronicity.
I really like Synchronicity. That was really good.
Now that you say that, Synchronicity is probably gonna be the song.
That was an amazing song. I actually bought the single. Surprise, surprise. But I love that song. I actually bought it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be.
I think so too.
And next up is Perfume.
They've been on here a lot, and with Future Pop coming out, I'm not surprised that they're on there. I'm thinking Mugen Mirai is gonna be one of the songs.
Oh yeah, that was a really good song. Probably Mugen Mirai and Tokyo Pop itself.
I still need to pick up Future Pop because I've been debating on which edition to get. Because they had a couple editions of it.
If you go to this concert in Chicago, you'll probably be able to pick up a special edition version.
I know. Siege Japan had them, and they had like a Blu-ray limited edition with, I think it had some concert clips on there and some extra special live clips, and which is one of the reasons I've been wanting to pick it up. And I have all their other albums, so I should pick up Future Pop. But I definitely am thinking Mugen Mirai will be on there. So.
But yeah, continuing on up, it is Seiko Matsuda.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I love Matsuda Seiko.
It's interesting to see her back, though.
It kind of is, because she was really big in the 80s and 90s, like early 90s. I'm glad to see her back, because I actually really like her. I'm kind of, I feel like it's been a while since she's been on there, though.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And I'm wondering what she'll sing as well. If she'll do a compilation, she'll pull out some of her older songs. She has so many albums. She did have a new album this year called Merry Go Round that came out in June. So she might pull some songs off that.
Yeah, she probably will. And continuing on up, it is Yumi Matsutoya. Which is really weird because I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yes, but she did have a best album release this year. And it made the charts, if I'm correct. It made the Oricon for a couple weeks, I thought.
You know what? Thinking about that, you're correct. You're very, very correct. But this is weird that this is only going to be her third time on the Oricon. Or, not the Oricon, the Kohaku. Speaking of someone who hasn't been on the Kohaku for a while, it's Messiah.
And yeah, I feel like she just released something, though. But I still think she is going to sing everything.
Oh, yeah.
Although, I love that song now. I absolutely love that song.
I mean, they play it every winter. They play it every winter in Japan. The song could be 9 years old and they play that song in Japan. I hear it every single time. And I used to go to Japan during the winter exclusively because I wanted to experience something different. Because being in Hawaii, you only experience summer all the time.
She does have a new album coming out in December, late December, actually the day after Christmas, called Life is Going On and On. So that could be why she's going to be on the Kohaku as well. It'd be a good promotion too, especially, if she does do a song off of it. And she did have a new song that came out in August as well, a new single called I Know Katachi with Hide from Green.
Oh, really? Green was involved in that song?
Yeah, yeah, or I don't know if I said his name right. I don't know if it's Hyde or Hide. But Hide. So it looks like, yeah, he was in that song with her. So, I mean, I could see them performing that song together. Maybe he'll be a surprise guest.
That would be interesting, actually. That would be very, very interesting. Granted, Green will probably be obscure. Hide will probably be obscure because they like to keep their privacy. Yeah? That would be very, very interesting. But yeah, continuing on up, it is Kaori Mizumori.
Kaori Mizumori? Mizumori. Kaori. I bet she's Enka.
She is an Enka singer. And she's available on Apple Music.
I figured because since she's been on there 16 times, I figure a lot of Enka have been on there because they, I feel like they get going and a lot of people know them. So I feel like they repeat a lot of the same Enka.
And lastly, for the female side, it is Little Glee Monster for the second year. Hopefully they won't be just the intro like they were last year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see more from them this year. And since they had their recent album, I think it'll be really good to, good to see them again. And I'm curious what they're going to sing.
Yeah.
Do you have any takes on what they might choose? I think Gray would probably tell you what he thinks a little more than I can.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
If you listen slowly, you can hear Gray just yelling into his phone saying, "What are you guys doing?"
Yep. I mean, I'm trying to think what would be their song. Possibly Sekai wa Anata ni Ware Kakete Iru, which came out. That was one of their newer singles that came out in August. Or they could do Gyuto.
Oh yeah, Gyuto was a really good song. I remember.
It was. And they do have a new single that actually dropped on the 14th, so 2 days ago, called Natsu ni Natte Utae. So I'm wondering they could do their new song too.
Yeah, they'll probably do their new song.
So, and they could do a melody, but I'm thinking they might go for their newer single, especially to give it some more promotion.
Definitely. But yeah, continuing on to the white side, now it's Arashi. This is their 10th year in. It will be their 20th anniversary, so it would be no surprise to anyone if they do another melody. Be no surprise to anyone.
Yep, I agree.
And next is Hiroshi Itsuki. I believe he's another Enka singer.
Enka. Seeing he's been on there 48 times, I'm about 99.9% confident he's Enka.
Yep. And continuing down, it's Exile. Now, what out of for the Exile Friday songs, what songs did you like the most? I gotta pick your brain for that.
Oh God, I can't remember the name of it, but the one with the music video where they're on the tables. That was Exile, right?
I'm trying to think.
Why can't I think of it? My brain is like fried, and I'm trying to think of what it's called now. It's on my YouTube. It's a favorite on my YouTube page. And it made the charts. This is gonna drive me. Was it Generations? I bet it was
Generations. It was Generations. The ones that it's all in a circle, right?
Yep,
that's Generations.
It was Generations. I loved that one. It was or was it Generations? Now I'm second guessing myself if it was Generations from Tribe
or
if it
Sandame
was the Soul Brothers. Or Yeah, because I get so confused sometimes on, I'm just like, oh, I like that song, but I don't remember who it was. And now oh gosh, dag nabbit. I'm going to have to go on YouTube and then tell you by typing in Exile, then I'll figure out which one it is. Because it was an upbeat song with a lot of dancing, and the guys had their shirts off.
Yeah, I think that was Generations.
But I don't remember which song it was. Oh boy. Oh, it was Fly Boys, Fly Girls.
Bye.
Exile Generation. It's Generations Exile Tribe. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I love that song.
I mean, who knows? I mean, they could probably bring all their members like they did for last year's, because I believe they had all their members on for their song. Mm-hmm. So even e-girls were on there too. So
what do you think it's gonna be? You think they're gonna bring them all and do some random ones? Do you think they're gonna pull some songs from their newest album?
They're probably gonna pull songs from their newest album. I'm trying to think what song they would do though. Turn Back Time was really big. That was a really big song actually. If they really wanted to do a ballad song, My Star was really good. That was probably their best ballad song in a while. Melody was really good too. But it could probably be just a medley of songs that they did for this Exile Friday, and bring everyone else on. So.
Oh, I'd love that.
You're just thinking of the Generation people.
Yes, I am. I really liked Exile Generations, and I also like the Sadame. Oh jeez, I'm gonna butcher everything today. The Sandame J Soul Brothers. I also really like them. But I really like Exile. I think they do a really good job. So
next up is Kanjani 8. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be their latest single that will probably be the song on there. I wonder if they'll do something unique like they did last year, where they did from the entrance of the NHK Hall. Go through the everything, so.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. And next is a new debut. Our boys, King and Prince.
Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. This will be one of the highlights of the Kohaku.
I'm pretty sure this is going to probably be a medley of Cinderella Girl, Boys and Girl, which is going to be their newest single by the time the Kohaku comes out. And probably will have Memorial.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be definitely a melody, especially it being their debut. I think it'll be a good melody, too.
Yeah. And I can't wait. I actually really can't wait to see them. And coming up next, it's the Sandaime J Soul Brothers, once again. So, being body conscious here whenever I see them now. Them and Generations. Just all the younger people, because they're just so ripped. And I can't.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they make me feel body conscious too, even though I'm a girl, just because I'm kind of jealous that I'm like, man, they must work out like every freaking day. I don't have that kind of, conviction. Just say it, I don't have that conviction. I wish if I did.
Next is another debut artist. It's Junretsu. And this is the first time I'm actually hearing of them.
Me too.
I'm trying to think, where have I seen them before? Let me pull this up here real fast.
Are they new?
Scratch that. They're not new. They've been active since 2007.
Oh, wow. I'm kind of surprised I've just heard of them till now.
They are a all-male, 5-member male group. It's very, very interesting because it seems like they sung the same exact song several different times throughout this entire year.
Oh, wow.
It's called Proposal, so who knows? I'm pretty sure they'll sing that song in the Kohaku. So, but yeah, moving on up. It is Sekai no Owari. It'll probably be their newest song. I wonder if they'll have Reina on
I don't know. That's a good question.
because she's been out for a while now. Like last year when we had this conversation, she wasn't even on because she was giving birth. And I think she bowed out for like a majority of their singles. I think they released 2 singles, and she wasn't there for any of them. I think she's back for this coming single. It's interesting though. I would want to see if Reina will join them or not. But yeah, going on out is Sexy Zone. Another body conscious group that I need to be worried about there.
Yep, I think we all do.
And they've been at it for a while, 6 years now, for their Kohaku appearance.
They have. They were
They
great
were
last
great
year.
last year. And going down, it is The Pump, and they'll probably play USA.
USA, I was going to say the same thing. As soon as I saw the pump, I'm thinking they're going to say the USA, which I was watching earlier today
Yeah,
on
they're probably
YouTube.
going to sing USA, and they're going to drag the hell out of that performance, because I know for a fact they're going to drag the hell out of that performance. And they'll probably do something where, like, oh, they went to all these different states in the USA.
Yep, I can
Because
see that.
that song got huge in TikTok, which is that music video app.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing USA in that particular thing. But yeah, going on down, it is Kiyoshi Hikawa. We've talked about him before. I know for a fact we've talked about him. He's another Inca singer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I do remember us talking about him in the past, so.
yeah, he released 1 or 2 singles. Yeah, it was in February that he released a single, and it was really good, actually. But yeah, going on up, it is Masahiro Fukuyama. Once again, I believe he's another Inca singer there.
I'm pretty sure that as well.
Let me just double check here. Apparently, there's a lot of people named Masahiro Fukuhara because it went straight to a politician.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, politics. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, let's continue on up to Heisei Jump. This is only their second year.
I'm surprised.
I'm very surprised about that. But I'm drawing a blank on their songs.
Hold on. I'm trying to think what they performed last year. Because they're humongous. They did have a new album out this year called Sense of Love. They had Cosmic Human, which came out this year in August. Last year they did White Love.
Oh, yeah, that was the reason why they were probably on last year. White Love was really big.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think, what songs would they do this year?
They have 2 that they released this year so far, Cosmic Human and Maiwo Muke. And they do have the album Sense of Love, which came out in August, so they could do, like, some songs off that as well.
Yeah, they could. But yeah, continue on. It is Ken Hoshino, and probably Doraemon's going to be on there. Because Doraemon was a really big song this past year.
Oh, yeah. Definitely for that one. I can see that easily. Oh, and one of my favorites is coming up next. And one of Grace's favorites.
I like how you suck the air from that.
Because then I had to remember I'm not the only one.
And it is Daichi Miura. You know what's funny is when they introduced Daichi Miura in the U.S. public line, they put in parentheses his old group that he was a part of.
Oh, Folder?
Yeah, Folder 5, I believe that's what it was called.
Mm-hmm. It was originally Folder, and then when he left, it became Folder 5.
So,
if I'm
I
correct.
thought it was very interesting when they were introducing Daichi Miura, they put in parentheses folder or folder 5.
That is really interesting and kind of a little weird.
Cuz he wasn't in folder for much long, right?
No, he wasn't. He was really young when he was in it. I want to say he was like 10 or 11.
Oh, Jesus.
He was really, really young. So he was in there from 97 to 99, so for 2 years. And it was folder while he was in it, and it later became folder 5 after he left. And there are actually 2 male members in it from folder. There's Daichi, and there's a guy named Joe.
Just Joe.
Just Joe. Don't have anything else on
Is
Joe.
Is he from Samoa?
Sorry, it's funny. But yeah, so he was in there, and it looks like I don't know if there were albums when he was with them, but I don't see any, but he was with them for 2 years, so he wasn't with them super, super long. So.
But
It's just weird that they always include that, though, you're right.
yeah, it threw me off really badly that they mentioned it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, continuing on up, it is Hiroshi Miyama. And I believe he was that really young Inca singer that showed off last year.
I think he was, too. I think so, too.
But yeah, he's a really popular Inca singer, too. Born in 1980s, and that's pretty young for Inca style, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, continuing on up, it is Keisuke Yamauchi.
I say he's probably Enka.
And he is. He's another Inca person. Jesus.
I'm getting good at guessing.
I ain't good at guessing, because at this part, if it ain't someone that we kind of know because of us following the Oricon for so long, it's majority Inca.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, next up is Yuzu, and they'll probably pick something from their Yuzu album that released this past year.
I think so, too, so.
So that's a little bit much more of an easy guess there. And lastly, it is Yoshiki featuring Hyde, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Shigeki no Kyojin song.
Yep, I guarantee that as well.
And also, Shina Ringo and Koji Miyamoto will also make a special appearance, but they'll be doing the Namie thing where they're not really part of a group, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like, in a way, a tribute. I wonder if they're going to do a tribute to Sheena at all. Or if she's just going to do, like, a special, like a special come out, she'll sing, and they'll do kind of like what they did with Namie.
Yeah, because it was her anniversary this year also, right?
I think so, and I think that would be a good time to do that.
Yeah, I think it was, because that's the reason why they did the tribute album.
Mm-hmm.
But lastly, also, this was a very interesting thing. They added 2 anime idol groups.
I did see that.
They added Aquars, which is from Love Live, and they added Token Danshi, which is that weird samurai group thing that we've been seeing occasionally on the singles.
Constantly. I can see why Aquars made it, just because they have been topping the, a lot of that. The anime stuff makes the charts, we've seen Aquars make it, and that Samurai one has been very popular as of lately too.
Yeah, every single time the Token Danshi made a release, they've been on the charts. Like bottom, near the bottom, mid to bottom, but they've been on the charts.
Yep.
So it's very interesting because I think this is the first time they've done something really animated featured. I mean, they were part of the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Our screenshot and the screenshot that they did for the artist announcement had Aquars and Token Danshi, or Yeah, Token Danshi as the main photos per se. So I wonder if they're gonna start taking these anime like bands and anime singing like Love Live and Idolmaster and Bang Dream a little bit more seriously now because they are part of their promotion now. Is that
I can see that.
it's interesting to see that. Also because that's how big anime is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's really weird is I wonder if they're doing that because of the Olympics the following year, so they're trying to make a good step forward towards the anime community, so to speak. But looking at this list, who do you think should have been on this list?
That's really, really hard. Well, I think Ayumi Hamasaki should have been on here just because she had her new mini album out and celebrated her 20th anniversary. But I don't know if she ever participates in a Kohaku because I
She
don't.
rarely does.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking back about it, she
I
rarely did
was.
anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, just because it's a big year. She's someone I'm surprised I'm not seeing, and also Otsuka Ai being
Mm.
her anniversary, her 15th in January.
Otsuka Ai is a little bit more understanding.
Well, she does have a family.
Yeah, and she hasn't really done releases constantly.
Mm-mm.
The IU stuff is a little bit shocking. I was surprised looking back that she hasn't appeared all too much.
Yeah, and I mean, I know recently I'm not surprised just because everything going on with her, but she also hasn't had a lot of singles like she used to. So that could be why, is she's not dropping singles every 3 or 4 months. You know, same with Kodakumi having both those albums out. I don't know if she's ever really done Kohaku either. But also with her style, I don't know if it would fit Kohaku.
Mm,
You know, for Koda, I could see that, but I mean, her albums were up there. Um, those are just two of the bigger singers that I'm kind of surprised aren't on here. Another one is Kuraki Mai. Usually makes a lot of Kohaku performances, and she had her new mini album that came out this year, and there were 4 editions that came out with it. I am very surprised she's not on here this year. She was on there last year, though, and she makes a lot of Kohaku appearances.
Yonezu Kenshi.
That's another one, because he just had his Flamingo Teenage Riot single come out, too. And he has been huge, and Lemon would be one I would think they'd want on here.
Yeah, that's what I thought really was weird. Lemon sold very, very, very well.
I'm kind of wondering if they're giving him a year and seeing how he does next year.
To see if it wasn't just a a pot in the pan, so to speak.
Possibly, yeah.
But that is interesting that he isn't on
Mm-hmm.
here. And they try to do at least one international person. So I'm happy that Twice is on here. I'm also quite happy that BTS is not on here. We'll get on that in a moment, but hey, I'm quite happy that they don't have them on there. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a personal preference though.
Yeah, and I like that they did choose Twice because their album sold really well, and I think they're a good. I think they're a good addition to the Kohaku. I could maybe see Momoland being on there next year, or who knows who their international person will be next year. We'll see what Twice does this year too if they keep up with their releases.
Oh yeah. I mean they could have two international guests on the limelight
They very well
instead.
could. I could see that happening.
I'm surprised also that Baby Metal or an okay what okay go or okay rock isn't on there too. Mostly because they're more internationally appealed band
Mm-hmm.
or artist. So I'm surprised they're not on there, especially with the Olympics gearing up that they want to try to be more internationalized.
That is true. I actually never thought of that until now.
Utada's also not on there.
Ooh, and she just had that new album come out as well.
I mean, I kind of also understand because Utada hasn't really done much
Mm-hmm.
lately besides this one album. Shishamo also didn't get a return back. And I'm quite sad about that because Shishamo 5 was a really good album in my
And
mind.
I really enjoyed Shishamo last year.
Yeah, I really did too. That was a nice little fresh breath air right
Mm-hmm.
there. So I'm surprised that they weren't on.
Same. I mean, there's a couple. Well, I'm not really surprised Boa isn't on because I feel like her album didn't do as well. I would love to see Boa on here though and being international.
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunately we have to say this. We have to the pull the band-aid, so to speak. I think her time has passed at this point.
And yeah, I still need to get her newest Korean album. I haven't picked that up yet, but I would like to see Crystal K on here, but I know that's not going to happen. I think she would do really well, and I think that would be neat to see her on here. As she did have a new album out, but then again, she isn't really released consistently. You know, it was 2 years before this album came out this year. So I can see them wanting to choose artists to constantly release stuff. It makes sense.
I want to kind of see. You know how sometimes they place a bet in the dark, so to speak, with certain artists. I
Mm-hmm.
would like them to do that with Beverly.
Ooh. I really like Beverly. Her 24 album was amazing. Her vocals are astounding. And watching that live concert that came with the Blu ray, it really showcases it. I would love to see her on there.
Either Beverly or even Scandal. Scandal would have been a
A
good
good choice.
a good choice.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know, they always add a couple more artists because Nami was a late addition last year. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they could surprise us with IU. They could.
They could. And it's if she would want to do it too. I know she's gearing up for her tour. She has a tour next year. It's her 2018-2019 Trouble Tour. So it could be because she's touring and might not be able to do it. Um,
I wonder
so.
if they'll do the thing what they did last year with the intersplice between Countdown, where they had that one rock segment, like a majority rock segment.
Mm-hmm.
So
I-
I wonder if they'll do that.
I'm curious.
So I mean,
I'm
there's
really interested in seeing what they're going to do this year. Seeing
yeah.
how if they're going to switch anything up, if there's going to be any surprise guests.
I mean, because this is just the initial release artist lineup. Nothing's really set in stone. They could have some people drop out even.
Yeah.
So
So it looks like I kind of pulled up some of the guests and how many times they've been on here because I was curious about IU. She's actually been on the Kohaku 15 times.
she probably's been on ever since her debut when the
Mm-hmm.
first 15.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. And you know, since she hasn't been releasing as consistently, that could be why she hasn't been doing that currently. You know, and it makes sense looking at a lot of the artists who are big names who have been on here, you know, haven't released a lot of stuff recently. And looking at this, Koda Kumi's actually, she's been on here 8 times, which I did not realize. You know, I'm kind of surprised she's not coming on with her two new albums that came out, and they did make number 3. But then again, I mean, she releases somewhat consistently. Album wise, yes. Single wise, no. So if they're going
Single
by
wise,
singles,
yeah,
that
if we're
makes
going by
sense.
singles, I don't think that Kodakumi quote unquote deserves a spot. But
No, and
album consistency wise,
same. And that's how a lot of these artists, I feel like, you know, yeah, they release a lot of albums, or they might just be doing an album thing every year, but a lot of them stop doing a lot of singles. So it does make sense seeing it like that. So.
I mean, Odyssey does. They didn't even do a single or an album. I think this year. I think it was specifically only singles, and
And that makes.
they only did 3 singles. So that's what surprises me too. And then we look at Kana Nishino Kana. I think she only did 2 this
She
year.
did 2, but they sold really well.
Two sold very well. Yeah, no.
Both of them sold very well, so I'm not surprised that she's on here, and she's been very consistent lately being on here. She's been on 9 times so far, so that's actually very, very good.
But yeah, let's move on from the little bit of the Kohaku news here. We're excited to see all that news for the 69th annual Kohaku. Won't say anything more about the numbering, but it is what it is there. With that, let's move on to our indie corner. And this week, it is the lovely Ao Midoru. And they are an interesting concept. They are a 4-member band, and they classify themselves as a twin vocal cabaret rock band. And this is pulled off through their lead singer, Sally, and their bassist, Maka, doing the vocals for majority of their songs. They both have a very emotional singing style that can even rival a lot of these funk and lounge style bands. And you listen to a couple of their songs, especially Love Side Lover, and it breaks down any kind of walls or barriers that you guys might have when you hear the word cabaret band, and they transcend to that style of music with Sally's powerful vocals.
And so I want to say I listened to Love Side Lover, and it was Sally's vocals are so powerful. Like, she has some lungs on her. She has an amazing voice, and I really want to hear more of their stuff, because I heard you hear a little bit of Maka in that song, but you don't hear too much of her, and she has a very pretty voice as well. So I really want to find some more things by them, but I really like their style. It's very interesting. It does fit with their vocals very well, though.
Yeah, it does. Currently, they only have one album. However, it's such a short print album, you'll be hard-pressed to find it. Not even CD Japan has it, I think. They only have their new mini album, which is Horukuto Roman, which was released back in April. So, you can buy a copy of it and visit their site on our website, and check out the music video for Love Side Lover on our site also, which is really good. And Luna, I believe you had some thoughts of our band last week of Mosaic Art.
Yes, so I really, really like them, and I listened to them, and oh my god, I love the lead singer's vocals. The thing I found really interesting is that piano, like what they do with the piano. I just loved it. I loved everything about it, and I really want to hear more because their vocal style was very interesting along with their music style. It really sucked me in.
That was the thing with them that I really did like. That they're more focused on the keyboardist and the guitarist with the vocals, more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I found so interesting that drew me into it. They're definitely one I want to get more into. So I look forward to seeing a lot more from them.
And what's funny with them, they are a very consistently releasing band. If you go on their YouTube channel, they have 6 songs, all released within 2 months.
Which is really good because you don't see many artists who release that consistently. Most of them take one song every couple months.
It is a very interesting style. But yeah, with that, let's go on to the Oricon. And oh my goodness, if this week was pretty interesting.
I agree with that. As soon as I pulled up the top 10, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Big variety, and some things pop up.
Well, we'll talk about this when we finish the top 10, but this is something very, very interesting that is currently going on. I'll talk about it when we get there, though. But first and foremost, it is Ikinari Punchline by SKE48. Once again, it came back up again from last week, too. and not much what we can say about it.
No, but you just reminded me, why aren't they into Kohaku? That's kind of surprising because they've had some big hits this year.
They did have some big hits this year, but they'll probably integrate that with AKB.
That's true.
They'll probably try to have everyone on during the AKB segment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just want to hear my Mushiki Naito song. I love that song.
Yes. I need to have no Iro. But yeah, this week, Ikinari Punchline sold a lovely 8,059 copies. Going on up to number 9, it is Rebeat. Oh my goodness, I hate Katakana with a passion.
Ribingudero?
Living Dead.
Living Diddle.
Living Dead. Living Dead. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think so. When I saw that, I initially thought that. Then when I say it out in syllables, I'm like, I don't get it.
Katakana can go shove it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done by Amazarashi. And speaking of the Living Dead, this song was alright. I liked it.
It was really freaking weird.
It's really weird. That was the only thing that I could think of it.
It was really weird. It was very unique. I think the reason this stood out because of how it sounded compared to everything else. It was very out there.
And good luck trying to find a music video for that.
Yeah, you won't. It's Sony.
It's Sony. Spoilers there. But this week it sold a lovely 8,981 copies. And going on up to number 8, it is BAM! By Momo Land.
I love how you emphasize the BAM! Because it really hits that. I freaking loved this song. And I've always been interested in Momoland, and I've always debated on buying some of their K-pop stuff, but I can't keep getting into new girl bands because whenever I get into them, they break up, and then I get upset. So, but I will say, I love BAM. I watched the video like twice because the music video was so freaking cute, and I love how it opened. I like the beat when it opened and their dance moves. I really, really like the song.
What's very interesting, I think this is their second Japanese single. Let me just double check that here.
I say this one stood out than the last one because I don't remember their other Japanese single, if you want the honest truth.
Yeah, it seems like it's their second one. Because Momoland's been at it. I've
Oh yeah, Boom Boom was their first one, which I actually remember because I watched the Korean version of it.
Oh, now I remember. They're sticking with the whole B thing, huh?
Yep, at least they don't have too much. I can get their discography somewhat easy.
But yeah, it was really good. I liked it. And I believe them and SKE are the only female artists on this list.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. But it sold a wonderful 12,126 copies. And going on up, once again, it is Yunezu Kenshi with Flamingo/Teenage Riot at number 7.
And
now, I want to hear your thoughts about this because we unfortunately didn't have you on the week of the release.
No. So, I love Flamingo. I think I talked about it before because I love the music video for Flamingo. It's awesome. It is an amazing song. And I finally watched Teenage Riot, which, even though this is Sony, if I'm correct, I could watch the music videos. I think because it was on Vivo. I love Teenage Riot, too. I thought they were both amazing songs. I like Flamingo a little bit more. They were awesome. These songs, made me love, re-love Yunezu Kenshi.
I really like this song. I really do like this song. It's a really good song. Flamingo is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Go right ahead and try it. And I think the reason why you guys are able to watch it internationally is because I think Yunezu Kenshi pushed for it. Because I was quite surprised that we could watch his music videos.
I was surprised too, and I'm really glad he pushed for it because that shows he knows he has an international fan base out there and he wants his fans to be able to, enjoy his music too. I'm really hoping other Sony artists such as Nishino Kana will push through that eventually as well. And Milia Kato has a huge international fan base. I'm hoping she'll push for it. But I feel like with Yunozu Kenshi's popularity, that also helped him in being able to push for it because of how well it sold in Japan. And it's also probably sold outside internationally fairly well too. So for him, I feel like he has a little up edge on that too.
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, it sold a wonderful 14,279 copies. And going on up to number 6, it is Office Love by Soledad.
What do I say about this? I didn't care for this one.
Initially I thought the same. Going into it, a couple seconds in, I was like, oh my goodness. I don't know how I feel about this song. However, I ended up really liking it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite song this week. You can probably say that I'll probably forget the song next week, but
Yeah.
for a song that is here for the moment, it was alright.
I mean, it was, to me, it was so forgettable, and I don't know what for me, I just didn't care for it. I kind of already forgot about it.
I mean, it's better than the next song, than, in my mind, better than that song.
Ooh, I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
And it's much more uplifting than the number 4 song. Let me tell you that much.
That is very true. That is very true. So.
Oh my goodness. But, it was alright in my mind. And it sold a lovely 21,675 copies. And going on up, it is Supernova with Chapter 2. Excuse me there.
So.
And once again, they appeared again. This isn't the first time. I believe Winner was their first single that we talked about.
And yes, it was. Winner came out in like 2013.
Oh, really?
Yes, Winner came, but it could have made the charts. It could have just came back. This is their first single in Japan since 2016.
Oh my goodness. I felt like we talked about them before, though.
I mean, possibly. I feel like they haven't done as much as they used to. Because I know them by their Korean name. I actually am like, why does Supernova sound familiar? And I knew them as, Choshinsei or Choshinsung. Because I actually remember them in Korea for a while. But they haven't done much in a while. They had a good gap.
I don't know. And
I actually really, really liked this song. I'm going to say it. I really liked Chapter 2, but I also did like Supernova, Choshin Song. I liked them before, so for me, I'm also a little biased, and I'm glad to see them come back. So.
Yep. I don't know. Like, for me, I have... This reminds me why I don't really care for K-pop. This song particularly made me remember why.
Yeah, it is very, I guess you will say, typical K-pop, and it's one I'll probably forget next week. But there are some, it's a song that I ended up liking more than I thought I did, I guess because it was a lot of fun. I wanted to hear more than the 1 minute and 28 seconds, though.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. I think because with Office Love, I initially thought I was going to hate the song, but after listening to the entire song, I ended up liking it. So it could change my mind if I'm able to watch the entire music video or listen to the entire song for Chapter 2. I think it will be able to change my mind.
Yeah, because some of the snippets, you just don't get enough to know if you like it or you hate it.
But Chapter 2 sold a lovely 24,450 copies. And going on up to number 4. Oh my goodness, it is Kaze o Mitsumete by Kobukuro.
Oh, the
And
song.
oh man, this song was super depressing.
Yep.
The music video is available. Please be in the right state of mind because this is the harsh reality of Japanese society in this music video. And especially being on I can't say personally because I'm not a woman, but specifically on the single mother side of what the Japanese society will take, this seems very, very hard and difficult.
Yeah. Yep, it's really depressing, and like watching that, it's really very, very sad.
It is. It is. It's a good song. It's a very loving ballad like song, but it is a very depressing music video, and I think it's because it's from this drama. I think that's where the clips are from. And I don't want to watch that drama at all now.
No, I'll just cry my eyes out and be depressed the whole time.
I think I'm going to be depressed the whole time if I ever watch that drama.
Yep.
So, but it sold well. It sold very, very well with 26,995 copies. And going on up to number 3, it is Catch Up Latency by Union Square Garden. I love this song very, very much.
I agree. This was a really, really good song.
This and number 2 in my mind took up my top 2. And, Union Square Garden, I really like them. Their album that they released this past year was also really, really good. And I'm quite happy that I found them after that. The album with them, Mood Mode, with them riding the stupid giraffe, I think. That's what it was, had the cover for. After that, I kind of followed them a little bit more closely. And I really, really like it. And they're kind of an anime band too, because this song particularly is the opening theme song for an anime called Kaze ga Sugoku Fuite Iru. It's the opening theme song for that. But it's a really good song. If you guys have the chance, go and get it. It's a really great song. The music video is very entertaining too. And it sold a lovely 27,028 copies. Going on up to number 2, it is Good and Evil / Eden A by Uvo World. And by God, you think of progression from a band. Uvo World did that to a T now. This is nothing like their older stuff. This is nothing like the My Hero song that they did earlier. This is a more electronica-based EDM style song. And I love it.
I agree. I freaking loved it. I actually loved both songs, and this was freaking amazing. I cannot say how much I love these. And I love Uberworld in general, but hearing this made me fall back in love with them.
And they were kind of in that middle ground where they're like kind of electronica, kind of rockish, and Odd Future kind of balanced that fairly well. This is just straight electronica. There wasn't a rock sense in the word with these two songs, and I really like it. I don't know why. If Uberworld kind of balances that trend of going kind of electronica, kind of rockish with that combination, which they have been, that combination, but more so one towards the other occasionally, I think that'd be good for them.
I think so too. I agree.
I really love this song. This is my number 1 song for me. But it sold a lovely 30,438 copies. And going on up to the number 1 song, it is Fake Love and Airplane Part 2 by BTS. And by God, this sold everything out of the... It sold everything out of the top 10 Oricon combined. Singles. Probably albums, too, at this point.
Yep.
And this is the Japanese version of their song Fake Love.
And the Japanese version of Airplane Part 2, am I correct? Or was that an original song?
I'm I'm thinking it was an original song. I remember we had an article about this. And let me just pull that up real fast. Yes, it is Bird. Unfortunately, it wasn't on here. And it's weird because Bird was the song that was made by Akimoto, the guy that made AKB. So that's strange that it isn't on here. It is very, very strange. Fake Love and Airplane Part 2 are Japanese translated songs of their Korean songs. I've heard Fake Love 1,000 times over because of the people that just love them. So I'm quite over it.
So this is the first time I've actually heard it. I'm just gonna say that. I actually like the song, and so far I really haven't found a BTS song I've been a fan of, or liked in general. And I haven't heard that much from them, so I don't go on that. It's just not usually my style of music. I actually liked Fake Love because I felt like it was very toned down. I did not like Idol. It annoyed me. Um,
I don't. It was something.
but I felt like Fake Love was somewhat enjoyable. It made me think, okay, this is actually a decent song. It's not, I'm not head over heels for it, but I don't absolutely hate it that I can't listen to it. So I was surprised that I actually enjoyed the song. Airplane Part 2 was okay. It wasn't anything I'd probably listen to as much, but I actually really liked Fake Love, and I'm super surprised.
Yeah, I mean, not a knock on the song because Fake Love is a really good song. However, for me personally, because I've listened to this song 1,000 times over now, I'm kind of just over it.
No, and I
Already.
understand that completely, especially if you've heard it a million times since it was like my first time hearing it. I'm like, oh, this is okay, you know, but for most, I'm kind of, most of their songs that I've heard, I haven't cared for Mic Drop. I didn't care for Idol, so. But at least I found one I gave a chance to and I actually enjoyed. And don't judge by my
Yeah.
taste in music. I mean, I, we all have different tastes in music. So just because it means I'm not a fan of them doesn't mean, someone else isn't a fan of them and really likes them. So everyone has different things they like.
Yeah, this is their top-selling album or single as of so far. Before that was Mic Drop, and Mic Drop was the first single that we did. That was that was them. When we did our first episode, they were on it. Like Mic Drop was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's interesting that they didn't do anything after that. I think they did a mini album in Japan, but the albums don't really count anymore since we don't really view that much albums anymore on the podcast. But
Their last mini album in Japan was 2016, but they did have an album called Face Yourself that came out this year.
and I think that sold very well.
I think so too. I feel like they had their recent Korean album came out in August called Love Yourself, You'll Answer.
Okay.
So, and that one you could find at Target at certain US stores. I actually saw copies of it in Arizona. I have not seen any copies where I live, but Target was promoting BTS very heavily for Love Yourself, Answer, and that actually did have Fake Love on it. So.
And with that, let's kind of just peer over to the album side real fast.
And I was very curious because I'm trying to think what all came out. Because I feel like Ayaka's album actually came out, but that came out the 14th, so that won't be on
What's
there yet.
funny is 2 Korean albums made it on.
And I see which ones. And I actually see one. I watched the video for it today on accident, and I'm like, oh, I really like this song. I found a BTS song I really love, realizing it wasn't BTS I was listening to because my YouTube was on. I thought I clicked it, and I didn't. It's EXO. It's EXO. It's EXO song Tempo, and I actually loved that song. And I'm like, this is really, really good. And then I click, oh, it's EXO. It's not BTS. Oopsie.
Oopsie.
So
So,
that sold really well, and I didn't realize Twice had another Korean album out.
was that there was two anime albums, but it seemed like they were A and B sides. So I think if you bought one, you most likely
Bought
bought
the
the
other,
other.
yeah.
There is the Queen's album,
Mm-hmm.
the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack, which is really interesting. Utada came back with Hatsukoi. So BTS took the entire sales of the top 10 singles and the entire sales of the top 10 albums and just blew it out of the water.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And this gets me on a little thing. Korea really did well this week.
This year in general, I feel like.
This year in general. And this kind of goes back to our talk of what does Japan need to do?
Um, I mean, step up their game a little bit. I feel like, I mean, yeah, they both have idol groups, but I feel like Korea has more American-like music, which is probably why it's succeeding so well. It's more modernized. I feel like Japanese music, which is the reason I love it, feels very late 90s and early 2000s to me still. Like US type. You know, like how the US music was in the late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of Japanese music does remind me of that today. And that's one of the reasons I love it so much. One of the other things is a lot of the Korean artists do use a lot of English in their songs, and a lot of, their dance moves are very modern, their videos are very colorful. I feel like that's another thing they hit with is their English skills are very, very good for most of their Korean artists that end up going to Japan and to the US. Where there are a lot of popular Japanese artists, but how many of them are like very, very good in English, almost fluent like? I can think
Oh,
of a
yeah.
few. So I feel like that's another thing that draws more people in. And I guess because English is seen as a universal language, or aka the language of business, so that also hits a lot of people. And not to say they should include that each time or anything. I feel like it's just Korea's doing a combination of things between the style of music, the type of upbeat dancing, because everything now is synthesized and all that, and they don't use a lot of real instruments, which makes me sad because I like really hearing music. And yes, I love
Hmm.
dance music, and I like hearing some of that once in a while, but I don't want to hear it all the time. Um, I also do feel like if you listen to a lot of BTS or Twice, Girls' Generation, a lot of them, I do buy some K-pop CDs if it's an artist I like. I do buy it. There's a lot of K-pop artists I'm actually a huge fan of. And a lot of them use a ton of English in their songs and have very Americanized style. And if I don't want to listen to American music, I actually do listen to a lot of K-pop when I'm in that mood because it gives me more of an American style, especially hip hop or dance. And if you see a lot of the songs that have charted, you look at Momoland's Bam, it is an upbeat dance song that, you know, yes, the idol groups do upbeat dance songs, but if you listen to that and you compare it to Korean idol groups, you can hear a difference in sound. I mean, how many people are gonna dance to like an AKB song or Keikizaka, versus Momoland or Twice or BTS, EXO, Sistar. So 4 Minute, stuff like that. So I feel like that's part of it. I will say there's some artists who are stepping in the right direction. Like Kodakumi, listen to her new albums like And in DNA. She definitely included that American style in her songs very heavily. And her album sold fairly well. Um, I do feel like that's a big thing, and also fashion wise, I feel like a lot of the Korean artists have a decent iconic sense of fashion that makes them stick out as well. In a way, I feel like Big Bang kind of started that, especially for the male groups. And 21 was one of the leading ones for the female groups, along with 4 Minute and Girls' Generation. So I feel like that's something that Japan could step up. I mean, what do you think, Ken?
It's so hard to say. They do need to step up, though. They need to work on internationalizing themselves
Mm-hmm.
and evolving their music. We've talked about this many different times with the idol stuff. It's just the same. There's nothing. If it, the only time that new idol songs get out there, it only sells 8, 7, maybe 4 if you're lucky. But if you stick to the traditional stuff like AKB, that
Mm-hmm.
sells gangbusters because they have all that fan following. But to evolve that style of music, especially for an international crowd, before it gets all stale, you need to make yourself stand out. And I think that's what Korean style of music is doing right now.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot who they not all their albums are gonna sound the same. I'm gonna use 4 Minute on this because they started out they were very hip hop influenced. You can hear it in their first mini album. Then you look at their last mini album they released called Hate, and it was a complete style change. Yes, they still had hip hop, but they incorporated a lot more than what they did originally, and it their music style evolved. And there's a lot of artists who have evolved over time like that. So, and I do agree with the internationalization. I think that plays a big part in it. If you can't watch some of these music videos, like Korea makes it available to everyone in high quality HD. And
Yeah.
along with a lot of live performances and shows you can watch now, in Japan, if it's Sony, you can't get it. You can't watch it. It's not international. You have to buy it. And how many people are going to go out and buy a $15 single as a blind buy to watch the video, which they might not include? Thank you, Sony. I'm referring to you and Kana Nishino. So, and same with albums. Japanese albums are around $30 for a standard edition, maybe 32 to 50 for a DVD or Blu-ray with it. DVDs are also not region compatible with US players as long as some international. Europe they are, but there's other countries they're not as well. Blu-ray is region free, so that's another thing. Like Korea's albums are around 15 to 25, come up photo books. So they're a little bit cheaper, but they mainly do minis. So I mean, it's a really hard choice. I feel like international is something, that putting more things on iTunes as well. There's a lot of singers you can't get on iTunes. There's a lot of music you can't listen to on Apple Music, and I'm looking at you, Sony. Avix is readily available. Most companies, Warner, Universal, they're readily available. They're happy to go international. But I feel like it's a step up, and I think like One OK Rock and Perfume doing these tours is a step in the right direction,
Oh
which is
yeah.
why I think they're getting more recognition international because they're going out there. Same with a lot of indie metal bands that I see a lot of people follow, like Love Bites and Aldios. I don't know if I said it right. But there's a lot of baby metal. A lot of them get recognition because they're going more international too.
And
So.
let's take this evolution style just a little bit more. Case in point, Overworld. If you were to pick Detechno Life and just think of that this is the start of what Overworld was.
Mm-hmm.
And then you listen to Eden A.
I mean, you can
You would
see.
think that it's two different bands. Completely.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and same with like you listen to all their early stuff, like Colors and Color of the Heart, and you hear Eden A and you hear Good or Evil. Like there is a huge difference in the sound, and you can hear that. And it's not in a bad way. You still enjoy their older songs, but at the same time, you love this new sound that has evolved into something else that'll gain more fans while keeping their old
Yeah,
ones.
or like let's take Odd Future because that was a nice little mix of rock and techno or electronica.
Mm-hmm.
You compare Detechno Life and you compare Odd Future. two wildly different styles of someone who fine-tuned their craft of what this genre of what they're going to be. And it's really good. And bands need to do that. Groups need to do that. Artists need to do that. Because if not, they're not going to survive. And that's the unfortunate part. And, like I said, we say this not as like a critic and someone who knows like deeply what the Japanese music industry is about. We do this because we want it to survive. We want it to thrive. We want it to not just only it be about anime, as we say, getting an anime episode coming out next week. But we can go on and on about this subject. We did a full episode about this about a month and a half ago. Think of this: 5 Korean artists made the top single and albums this past week. That's a little bit close to comfort there. That's 1/4 of what this week toply sold.
It's just looking at it, I'm just blown away at showing, that although I kind of wonder how much a percentage it is Japan who bought the singles, because this counts for, any retail you bought it from, not just, like CD Japan, Yes Asia, and how many international fans contributed to this. I'd like to see a breakdown as well. Because that would give us an idea of how many international bought it. Not just Japan loves it, but all the international fans are purchasing this.
That would be an interesting thing that I would love to talk about with Oricon. And because it's just shipped and sold. I don't know if it's international purchases, if they include digital. Well, they don't include digital because they have their own boards for that. But
yeah,
it would be interesting to see how all these charts, how they get all their information, if they are taking international sellers or not.
And I know Yes Asia does. I know all their sales go from the Oricon charts. So if you buy it from there, it contributes to it. CD Japan does as well. So when I buy stuff, I count as one of the ones in the chart, even though I'm sending it to the U.S. And some people could do what we do, is we sometimes buy things off Amazon Japan and we send them to our friend, and that counts too. So think of how many people are doing that. You kind of wonder how the international community plays into this too. So I would like to see like how much each retailer contributes to the sales. I'm very, very curious.
But let's wrap this up in a nice pin for now, because we can probably be talking about this all year for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, and I totally agree. And there's a lot of singers who have evolved over time, and I will say like Ayumi has, if you listen to her style from early on, and how each album has changed styles. She's one who I feel like her success is due to her evolution. Same with Kohaku, and she had, you listen to a lot of those artists who you listen to their style change, and you go from their first thing they've ever done until now, and you're just blown away. So artists like that have their longevity, and it's kind of like, we would like to see more evolution like that. And a lot of the artists who've done it evolution, I feel like, are kind of up, getting up there to maybe not close to retirement, but possibly be.
Yeah.
Namie's gone. She was a big seller. I could see Ayumi retiring in the next couple years. A lot of these singers who've had the evolution. Now it's time for the idol groups to start stepping it up.
Like I said, we could be on this topic on and off for the next year, but let's put a pin in it. I would love to have Gray in this conversation also, because he's fairly new to be headfirst in the music industry, so to speak. So I would like to hear his take of all of this. But like I said earlier, next week you guys are in for a treat, because we are doing 2 episodes. we are going to do our normal episode, which will be released at its normal time, Friday, Saturday. And we will be doing a anime ending episode. So, part 2 of our anime opening episodes will be now doing ending theme song episodes. So, please look forward to that next week. So, and as you guys are hopefully enjoying Thanksgiving in the Americas or not freezing to death, you can listen to our podcast for a bit and warm yourself up through that. You can find us at ongakutoyou.com. You can reach us at Twitter and Instagram at ongakutoyou. Follow us there. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ongakutoyou. You can listen to our lovely attributes of Koryu Hunter, our Japanese mailbox, so to speak. He is a Japanese Twitch streamer and is a host of another podcast that I'm part of with our other affiliate, Timbertaff, who is a Twitch streamer in his own right and a musician. Also, he does his Devilman Crybaby English opening riff song. You can listen to that. And you can follow him on twitch.tv/Timbertaff, TIMBERTAFT, and Koryu Hunter at twitch.tv/Koryu Hunter, KYORYUHUNTER. And you can follow them on the podcast that I also am a part of, Potosaurus, which is a gaming-focused podcast. We had good fun this past week's episode, and hopefully you guys listen to that while you're listening to Ongaku to You. And for the people that from Potosaurus, hello. I am more talkative on this podcast more so than the other podcasts. But yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at OTYKen1. You can follow Gray at OngakugRay on Twitter. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us this episode for Ongaku to You. We ran a little bit longer, mostly because of Kohaku and our lovely little Korean debate there. But I want to thank you guys once again for listening. You guys take care and have a great day. Mahalos.
Thank you everyone for listening to today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And look forward to more from us. So I do have a Twitter. It is LunaMaria87. You're welcome to follow me, but I can tell you I don't post that much. You are also welcome to... I highly recommend checking out our Instagram because you get to see a lot of cool pics of CDs and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a fantastic holiday, even though we'll talk to you before then. And I will see you next time. This is Luna, signing off.